All right, Grasshoppers. This is a real thrill for me. First of all, we get to have Jason on here all the time. Just to recap with Jason again, everybody knows he served our country in the Air Force and now is out in Vegas. He's probably more famous than any hockey player out in Vegas. You see him at all the Vegas Golden Knights games. And also, he's got a fantastic organization going on out there called the Vegas Veterans Hockey Foundation. Basically, it just gives an opportunity to all the veterans back in the area to get on the ice, and it's really therapeutic for them and kind of that team bonding thing again and everything. So great to see you again there. But now, the real important person here is his beautiful wife he gets on here to make the show look a little better instead of these two dummies here. Beth, how are you doing? It's great to meet you finally.
Yeah, no, good to meet you. This is awesome.
And are you from, I think your husband told me, are you from the Michigan area originally?
Yeah, I grew up in Farmington Hills area. My parents live out
there. That's right, too. Yeah, because I lived in Bloomfield Hills for a while, and I went to school up in northern Michigan, so I love Michigan. That was a great part of the country.
Yeah, in the summer it's nice. I'm done with those cold winters, but, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, you guys are lucky. How's everything going with the virus out there?
You know, it's going. Stuff is slowly starting to open up a little bit. People are, getting vaccinated. I know Nevada was kind of slow getting vaccinated and stuff like that, but it's starting to come around.
Good. And Beth, am I correct in calling you a personal trainer? Is that what you do?
I am, yeah.
Good. Your husband's bragging about your knowledge of the physical fitness world all the time. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love it. I've been, into working out and stuff since I was little and started playing soccer and all that. So yeah, it's just kind of my lifestyle and I love it.
Good. And are you able to do a lot of stuff online now?
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff. I switched a lot of stuff virtually, especially, in the, heat of the pandemic and all that. And I had already kind of been doing some virtual stuff. But now I have some clients that train outside and I have some back to doing some one-on-one training in person as well too. But good. Yeah, the virtual worked, it was good.
Good. Well, I want to get into talking about some of your beliefs with fitness and diet and all that kind of stuff. But first of all, the big question of the day is, how many shirts does your husband own that actually have sleeves on them?
Yeah, not many.
Not many? He ruined my joke. He put a shirt on today. He's got sleeves. You screwed it up. You usually have like the tank top on or something.
It's hot out here in Vegas, Tom. It's hot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Seriously, our girls don't even own a jacket. Like they have
they do.
Like one puff jacket that's been there for it just hangs on the closet. They never use it. We get like 3 or 4 days out here where it's cold enough.
Right. That's cool. That's nice out there. I remember when I grew up in Canada, went to school in Michigan and everything, and I was here in New York for 7 years, and I got traded out to Los Angeles. And I remember I loved New York so much, I was complaining, like whining, like, oh, poor Tom. And then the first Christmas, we had rented a home with a pool and a hot tub in the backyard, and I was sitting out in the hot tub on Christmas Eve having a cocktail. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I complaining about? This isn't bad at all, right? It's pretty good. Pretty good. So Beth, like I'm stubborn. I don't know how your husband is, but if somebody will tell me something, I'll use fasting, for example. People have told me about fasting for years, and I fought and said, no, I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it. And then I finally do the research myself, and I realized all the health benefits from fasting. Are you big on that kind of stuff? Like, do you believe in fasting, for example?
I mean, I think it can be super helpful, especially just, closing the window. A lot of times, like in those late nights, I mean, people are just eating crap. It's not like, at 8 or 9 o'clock, you're going to eat a salad or stuff like that. So I think partly it just kind of cuts down on the kinds of foods you're eating too. So yeah, in a lot of ways it can be super helpful.
Good. So now here's another one of mine. I feel like I don't need a whole lot of sleep. Like I get up at 3:30 in the morning, so I'll go to bed at 10 o'clock. But I see all the studies. In fact, we did a show the other day, and I got a show coming up with a woman who's that's her field. She talks about sleep. And this gentleman and I, he's another trainer, and talked about that. We really kind of poo-pooed the whole idea of sleep. Do you think it's as important as people talk about it?
I think it is, because when you think about like when you're working out and stuff, like you're tearing your muscles, and you need that time to repair, not just for strength training, but for everything. Like that's kind of when your body needs to reset and repair. And no, it's hard. I mean, I'm not the best at it either, but
yeah. So you would believe then like that 8 hours of sleep, you really train yourself to get that good 8 hours of sleep is pretty important.
I think it's pretty beneficial. I mean, it's hard. We don't have enough hours in the day, and I'm like you. I like to get up early and get my workout done, and before the day starts. But yeah, no, it's important.
Yeah. And before I forget too, so you can train people now virtually. You can train them anywhere in the world, really, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So how can people get a hold of you?
So my personal training company is MVP Fitness, like most valuable player. So MVP Fitness Vegas is the handle on like Instagram and Facebook and everything.
MVP Fitness. Excellent. That's good. Like that name. Very good. Go on. So, okay, now the real important stuff too then. So your husband now, when he goes to Vegas Golden Knights games, you must be happy there's no games so he can't go. So when he first got up and started doing the screaming and everything with the looking like the Wolverine, were you proud of him? Did you want to run the other way, or where were you?
Just kind of shocked, I guess. I mean, didn't
Oh.
really see it coming, and it began like the first preseason game, or first maybe second preseason game. I don't know, like right about there. So yeah, it's pretty much been nonstop. But yeah, we we're able to buy tickets for March games today. And so that was the rush stress this morning.
So what are they letting in, like 10 or 20%, or what are they doing?
15%. So for season ticket holders, they let us, you could buy tickets for one game in March, one home game.
Oh.
So we were able to do that.
Good. Excellent.
They did it, Tom. They broke it out where you had to buy, either a set of 2, 4, 6, and you weren't. It's not like they were your normal season tickets. So they just opened up. I think they said estimated 2,600 fans total in T-Mobile Arena at their 15% capacity. So yeah, literally Beth was logging in at 9 a.m. into our account trying to secure a game for March.
Good. Now, do you guys have to get vaccinated to get in, or tested, or what?
No, I think they were just saying we'd have to do that like Clear app where you just say that you haven't had symptoms and all that, but no, they're about being vaccinated.
Oh, cool. Where are you guys at with the vaccine? Are you guys going to get vaccinated, or what?
We're nowhere near on the list right now. We're pretty far down.
I'm kind of tossed. Like the people I talk to, like one thing I didn't understand, maybe I was just totally naive. So the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting the virus. It just, if you get the virus, it helps you fight it off, right? And so to me, I feel like I should be careful. I don't want to sway other people and how they're thinking. So everybody's got to make up their own mind on it. But I just feel like if you're exercising, you're healthy, and you're eating all the right foods and everything, it's kind of the same effect as the vaccine. So that's my thought again. But I want people to make sure they make up their own mind and don't listen to me. But
yeah, it just depends on your underlying condition, all kinds of stuff too. Because you could be super healthy but have other stuff going on. We unfortunately did get COVID over the summer. So in that case, it doesn't seem as of a rush for us to get the vaccine because we feel like we're potentially still a little bit more protected right now.
That's right. I forgot. Did the whole family get it?
The girls did not. Us.
Yeah. Yeah, the girls
and
were protected.
Really? And so you two, what were symptoms like? Very little, or?
Yeah, it was weird. So Jason had it first, and I had pretty much the same thing like 2 days after him, but it was just kind of headache, like a day of like hot and cold flu type feeling, and then just exhausted. Like the next week after, we just got tested because he was going to help his mom move, and we wanted to make sure that, we protect her. And I'm like, well, what if that was COVID? And Jason's like, no, it wasn't, and thought I was stupid to drive to the testing site.
It didn't hit me like that.
But then we got tested, and then even so that we were feeling better by the end of the week, got tested, found out we had it, and then that following week we were just exhausted. And then we lose taste and smell each for like a day or two. So it was definitely COVID. We definitely had it, but luckily, we were, like you said, we keep up with the vitamins. We do the elderberry, try to do all the preventative stuff that we can, the exercise.
I think the exercise and staying healthy, Tom, is exactly what you kind of said. For us, it hit us, but it wasn't what we had read, with so many people, it really just knocked them out. Like I didn't have an excessive cough. I didn't feel shortness of breath. As a matter, Beth was like, you need to go get tested. I was like, it's just like a standard 24-hour flu thing. It didn't really, hit me where I felt like I need to go to the hospital or anything like that. So maybe there is, that we talk about, staying healthy does, help a little bit, but like Beth said, though, you never know. You never really know.
Super healthy, they got hit really hard. So
yeah, it's true. And it's interesting that you both got in the kids. So the kids were next to you. They didn't get the virus at all, right?
Nothing.
Yeah, because especially the first few days, we didn't really.
I had no idea, and I was
isolate Jason or anything. So
they were fully exposed to it. They just didn't get.
Right.
They didn't get it.
Or didn't have symptoms.
Have any symptoms because we never did actually take them to get tested because they never had anything that came up.
Interesting. How's the foundation going with the hockey? You guys able to get on the ice?
Yeah, It's busy right now. Actually, we started partnering, not necessarily partnering, but we're starting to try to expand out our skating a little bit more. Because Vegas is kind of an interesting little pot where you have North Las Vegas, Henderson, and then City National. So we started skating out in Henderson area at the new Lifeguard Arena where the Silver Knights, the AHL team affiliate for the Knights, are playing, because the facility just basically opened up in September. So we had the big Freedom Face-Off that was there to kind of open the doors and help get it established. And that was us and the Police Sentinels that basically kind of helped Lifeguard, get going. So yeah, we're skating probably right now. We're going at least twice a month. So yeah, the guys have been on the ice, busy. We're getting ready to, we just started some initial planning for a golf tournament coming out in June. So, Tom, June's a good time.
I like it.
Out in Connecticut to come
so
on.
Here's the deal. I'm a terrible golfer, but what I do then is I ride around the cart and I harass everybody else while they're golfing, right? So I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, so it's been good. We're doing a lot of stuff, staying busy with the foundation as much as we can. Now that restrictions are kind of coming out, we're going to be starting our first men's league under VVHF. So that's
nice.
We're starting to make sure that we get guys into a beer league. I'm not sure how that's going to go down, though. You have
a few fights. If you have fights, right? There's some Marines and Army guys out there getting in fights and everything. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
I have to temper this down a little bit, though.
Yeah. So again, it's VegasVeteransHockey.org.
It is.
So it's
.org. So if anybody wants to volunteer, donate money, and like that's VegasVeteransHockey.org.
It's actually VVH Foundation.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
VVH. Okay.
FOUNDATION spelled out.
So VVH
Right. Okay.
Foundation.
Perfect. Good deal. And now the real important stuff, you're coaching your daughter's hockey teams?
Yeah, staying super busy. Actually, last night, a funny story. It's not funny, but I ended up having to take Presley into the ER last night. She became one with the boards pretty hard, going in to stop behind the goal line and stepped on a puck behind the goal and took her in, smashed her shoulder up pretty good. But luckily nothing big, just a bruised shoulder. No.
That always scares me when the kids, like, if you think to go in head first on the boards, right? That's the one thing for me is like, oh God.
Right. I was on the other side of the ice, and all I heard is coach, and I looked over to Presley laying on the ground like a chalk outline. So, like, oh boy, here we go.
I know. That's the one thing that's scary.
She's on the road in March. She's heading down to Arizona. So they're just getting ready to kind of open up Vegas tournaments right now. So far Vegas, their teams could play each other, but they couldn't host any outside organizations for tournament play or anything like that. So all of the Junior Golden Knights games were out of state, Minnesota, Nashville, Arizona. We were out in Dallas with the girls. So they'll go one more tournament down in Arizona at the beginning of March. And then it's kind of wrapping up the end of travel hockey season in spring. So
that's right. So all right. So Beth, what if somebody comes to you and so you're in good shape, your husband's in good shape. One of the things I've found is sometimes people that they feel like they're so far out of shape, they're almost intimidated. Some, right? Like to get started, right? Do people come to you like that? And if they do, what's your advice to them as they're getting started?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the small goals. You're not going to, and I tell them, like, you didn't gain all this weight, in a month or 2 months or even a year, so it's making the small goals to, slowly get it off. So you're actually going to keep it off and, get back in shape and get where you need to be. So yeah, I'm just huge on like the little goals each week. Like the first week, it might be just, you need to walk for 15 minutes every day. And sometimes, they're like, that's it. Like for this week, yes, that's it. And then, the next week you focus a little bit more on something else. But yeah, I'm big at kind of piecing it out in little small manner.
See, I like that too. Like I like to even get away from the scale. I know you're going to get into the scale every once in a while, but if you're become a slave to the scale, you're going to have a bad day or a good day, and then you're getting up and down. But I agree with you, right? It's like it's more of like a healthy lifestyle. Like like kind of like I really believe, and I want to hear what you have to say. I believe like you can really retrain your brain and how you look at food and your whole diet and everything too. Instead of looking at it that it's all about pleasure and salts and sugars. It's more like it's nutrition, right? You still can eat healthy, like good foods that taste good, but it's more like what are you doing to your body with the foods you're putting into it, right?
Yeah, no, I think and it's just the mindset, like you said, it's not just about weight. Like, how are you feeling? How are your clothes fitting? Are you able to, walk up the stairs and not be out of breath? Or, it's like finding those things that kind of, you
Right.
know.
So here's the big one then. Like, so does Jason think he knows everything about training and he won't listen to you, or do he take your advice now?
You know what? And now we used to work out together all the time, like
Yeah.
years ago before we had the kids and all that. Now we don't at all. He's pretty receptive. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he knows a lot on his own, I always get back to him like, well, have you taken microbiology? Have you had any anatomy class?
And then I just grabbed 90-pound dumbbells and I was like, here's my microbiology.
Yeah. that's the guy way though, right? I mean, we know, the fact is we probably know all the stuff we should be doing. It doesn't mean we do it. Like I don't do nearly enough stretching. I should probably stretch way more than I do, right?
That's my big thing too. I'm always trying to. I have this on-demand class thing, this yoga club that I signed up for that I use, and my kids love doing it.
Yeah.
And if I do that, I try to even just get like 10 minutes a day just to just stretch a little bit, because that's the problem. Like tight hamstrings lead to the back.
Totally. And I keep saying I feel so much better when I stretch, but I don't know what it is. But Jason, you're probably the same way. When I get in the gym, I want to lift, right? I mean, I would get going. I want that feeling, the adrenaline pumping up. Then you stretch, it's like, oh God, it's like an old dog laying on the gut. But you should do it.
Yeah, I agree though. But no, for sure, I definitely listen to Beth. I thought that I knew, a pretty vast amount of knowledge of nutrition and fitness. And then you sit down with Beth for a little bit and she will dissect a meal like there is, she will tear it apart, talking about, the proteins, the carbohydrates, the fat ratios. And she's actually very humble right now when she's talking about exercise and nutrition, but she's probably the only one that I would ever personally go to, not just because she's my wife, but she's smart. She's chosen to be vegetarian, for a long period of time. So watching her implement meals that aren't just chicken, steak, or fish, that have, just as much or if not more protein in it, it's incredible.
That's interesting. Beth, did you ever see that thing? It was at Netflix. They had that feature where they discussed, getting proteins from vegetables more. It was a lot of people watched it. It was somewhat controversial in that the guys made a really strong case. I think they had the guy on that was like the world's strongest man, and he was a vegetarian. He just ate all veggies.
I love documentaries. I love all about.
Yeah. Well, it was cool the way they said it. They said that, so like if eating meat, for example, with like a cow, so the cow gets its protein from vegetables, right? From eating. That's what, so they said, I think the line was, why just take out the middleman? The cow was the middleman. Just go eat the vegetables that the cow eats. That was the logic to it. And it's pretty good. But like everything else, they had somebody else came on. I think they went on Joe Rogan or something. They really debunked it to their theories. But don't you think that, everybody's got their own beliefs and you really got to do what you think is right for your body too, right?
Yeah. And you got to figure it out too. I mean, like I always say, like you can be vegetarian or even vegan and eat French fries and eat crap. And yeah, you're eating vegan, but it's not good for you, Right. So it's all about, same with like the gluten-free stuff and everything. Like there's ways to do it healthy and also ways to just do it with junk food and get by and stuff like that.
Yeah. And do you think, for me, I think we're all the same way. When you're younger, you can get away with eating bad foods, right? As you get older, I mean, I just find for me, I feel like I'm improving I'm learning more about the foods that make me function properly. And like what I put in my body and everything, like I said, the fasting and all that kinds of stuff makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, and I think it's weird too, like when you think about it, like what we ate even like 20 years ago, sometimes it wasn't as bad as what we're eating now. Like even if you're looking at some kind of like packaged food or something like that, like now there's just more, chemicals and dyes and just all kinds of crap in it that, not that it was good for us before, but I don't know, stuff's not. Good.
Yeah, I find myself now, I've got to the point where I don't buy very much prepared food. Like I make pretty much all my own foods now, like even soups and everything. Because I start paying attention to the calories and the sodium and everything. Like you look at a can of soup and it's like 25% of your sodium right there in one can of soup, right? So
liquid salt.
I know, so it takes a little effort, but then I don't know. I have fun with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff and freezing things, and I've started doing like our own like vegetable stock, and things like that, and just ways like I'm like, well, you could reuse this, and then it's also less packaging.
Well, hold on, Beth, hold on. You do your vegetable stock too? You copied me, didn't you? You did.
I don't know.
No,
I
you
didn't.
didn't.
But that's
No, I'm just teasing. It's funny because I just learned to do that. I used to, like, if I made a chicken or a turkey or whatever, I would put all the vegetables in the bottom of the pan. And I used to just throw them out and figure I'll just use the flavors from them for a gravy or whatever. I thought, why don't I just throw it all in the blender? So I threw all the vegetables in it. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I threw it back in the pan with all the drippings and everything. It's like, wow, you're right. It's like the chicken stock or the vegetable stock right there for your soups and everything. Yeah.
No, so I always like save stuff, if I'm like cutting the end of a carrot, and then I put that in a freezer bag. One of my friends, Dina, she was the one that was that. But yeah, so now like if Jason's cutting something up, I'm like, save those scraps. Like, don't throw out those sweet potatoes.
Tom, I open up my freezer and there's more frozen vegetables in there, and they're not from the package. They're just scraps of stuff.
I'm the same way. I've learned. We joke around all the time because I've talked to Google all the time now. So I asked Google everything. So I said, "Can you freeze bananas, for instance?" And so you can freeze bananas. And then she started talking about keeping the skin on. So when I freeze my bananas, I only use my bananas for my smoothies. The only problem with freezing some of that stuff is once you thaw it out, it gets all mushy. So if I'm just using it for a smoothie, I'm just throwing it into the blender. I thaw a little bit, but it is pretty cool to learn. I actually enjoyed learning more about the food. That's the one thing about the pandemic. It's given me a chance to learn more about my diet and everything too. So
yeah. Plus we get Sunday cooking day, Tom.
That's right. That's important. And what's the important thing when you're doing that? Clean as you cook.
Clean as you cook. Yeah. I love that too. That is the opposite. Oh my God, this one over here will use 50 pans and spoons.
Oh.
And it looks like a tornado came in. I mean, the food is amazing and it tastes delicious.
Right.
But I am like you, Thomas. When I'm cooking, I'm cleaning as I go. And this one over here.
And then we eat, and I'm like, well, I cooked, so I guess clean up's on you.
That's funny. I even clean up so much. There's sometimes where I'll put things away, and then I've got to go get them back again because I need to use them there. I figure I'm getting more exercise. I'm getting more exercise walking back and forth. Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Listen, I just want to make sure we really, because I know your husband's very proud of you, Beth, but I think I've heard great things about what you're doing too. So again, it's MVP Fitness.
MVP Fitness Vegas.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. And again, they can get a hold of you there, and they can do virtual training with you from there. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world or what time it is. Good stuff. And again, so Vegas Veterans Hockey. So VVHfund.org, correct?
So VVHfoundation.org.
Foundation, sorry. VVH Foundation. And again, I do recommend highly. Beth, have you got your own? You've got your own Instagram page and everything, don't you?
I do, yes. I have my MVP one, and then I have just my personal one, which is just the best.
Okay, good. And the one you've got to go to is, I hate to do this, but the VGK VGK. What's yours again, Jason? What is it? VGK.
VGK Wolverine.
That's right. You've got to go to that one. I hate to do that, but you got to go see him. So I think the story was your daughter, was it for Halloween? She wanted you to get dressed up as the Wolverine.
Yeah. I was, hey, I retired from the Air Force, so I had full beard. And then Halloween was coming around at the same time. Knight's very first preseason was coming around. So she was super into X-Men, told me to go to the bathroom, and she wanted to dress up, for X-Men, and said I should be Logan. And I was like, I don't even know what are you talking about? And so it came close to time, gave in. Obviously, my daughter always wins.
Sure.
So I went through, started shaving it off. Halfway through, figured out, wow, I could probably pull this off okay. And we ended up going to the preseason game. And as we were walking down, I think they pretty much, like I said before, they just saw, what is this character? Who is this guy?
Yeah. The season was rough. I mean, the Knights didn't look good. It's preseason, it doesn't matter, but they were just doing anything to get the crowd ready, get people up.
Yeah.
And so they found the chance to do like a celebrity lookalike, split screen, and jumped on that.
And did you get up and start cheering right away as soon as they put the camera on you? Is that what started?
It was more of a shock at first, because I kind of, like, somebody was, or I think it was Beth, was like, you're on the screen, and kind of looking up, and you're doing that weird where you're looking and people are seeing you, and I realized it was me with a picture next to Wolverine. It was a celebrity impersonator, and I was like, that's fun. And then now pretty much every game, don't they put you on the screen every game? Yeah, just about. Yeah, I'd say probably almost everyone. At least at some point, if there's a power play, or they just need to get the crowd kind of going up a little bit, and kind of. Man,
So now you know that when they put the camera on and you stand up and you start cheering and everything.
yeah, I got it down now.
You know where to look. You know what to do.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's set now. That's a
That's
production.
good stuff. Well, Beth, do me a favor, Beth. We're going to have you on again, but I need you to do a little bit of homework for me. I need you to go into Jason's wardrobe and count how many shirts he actually has with sleeves on it, okay, compared to the ones without sleeves. All right? That's your homework for next year.
Yeah.
All right. It's great to see you guys. Again, one more time, Beth, it's MVP Fitness.
MVP Fitness Vegas.
That's right. And again, with the foundation, it's Vegas Veterans. So vvhfoundation.org. Correct. And that's both of those are great sites. Beth is expert at what she does there. And that foundation is fantastic that Jason puts together. It helps a lot of veterans coming back from serving our country, and it's great therapy for them. So great stuff out there. Great to see you, Beth. And we will have everybody on again.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks, Tom.
yeah.
Good to see you.
Bye.
All right, guys. Take care.